And good morning, there we are. I gave a much longer view before I started talking today just because of how gorgeous it is today, especially back here. You can see the early light coming down through the thick cloud cover we have. And it's just so beautiful out here today. The rolling hills, beautiful mountains in every direction you can see here. And this is why it's called the Smoky Mountains, everybody. It's just so hazy and beautiful here. And I love it when I get to be awake and just enjoy how gorgeous this pristine area really can be. So now that I shared that with you, let's share some other stuff today. Today we're going to talk about a few things. I'll keep it as short as I can, I promise. Speaking as short as I can, this is about as short as I could cut my hair and make it not look terrible. So I cut some more hair off yesterday just because it gets in my way and bothers me. Anyway, reminder first up, camping trip. I've only heard back from 4 of you as definites. The camping trip is mid-October. It's going to be either the 2nd or 3rd weekend. I'd like to hear back from more people, but so far the people who've gotten back to me, only one of them said they have a date preference. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to lock in a date unless someone tells me otherwise. It's probably going to be the 3rd weekend of October. Might be the 2nd weekend, we'll see. But in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to pick a date and go with it because people need to start planning for it. Speaking of planning for my camping trip, it is in East Tennessee. It's only about an hour's drive into the middle of nowhere off the Interstate 81. It's not hard for you to get to. It costs you no money. There's no fee or anything. I crowdfund a few $100 I need to put it all together and buy all the food and all that. The only thing that you have to do is get you here, follow my instructions to the remote place that I hold this, and if you want to shoot with us on Saturday, bring your own guns and ammo. It's completely legal. The park has its own range and everything. You can come and shoot whatever you got. And it should be a great time just to enjoy some beautiful, remote, pristine nature and have a good old patriot fun time shooting off thousands of rounds on Saturday, just hooting and hollering and having a good time blasting. And we often, at my events, train people. Like if you're new to firearms, it's a great event for you to come to. We can teach you the basics. You'll be around a lot of gun people that have high firearm proficiency. They'll show you the safety techniques. We'll have extra goggles and ear protection and stuff. You'll be fine. And if you just want to come hang out with a bunch of based pro-white people, having fun shooting guns in the mountains and just enjoying being who we are and, you know, loving our ways and all that, it's a good time. I think you'll have a good time with us. So let me know. You can't do it by comments. I have to vet you. You have to email me, PM me, text me, get a hold of me privately in some way that's not just a comment on a YouTube or Rumble video. And let me know you're seriously interested and get on the list. It's not that hard to get vetted. Someone in my community just has to know who you are and say you're probably not a Fed. And then I'll interview you if I don't already know you. Most of the people that come I already know. So that's not a big deal. But if you want to come, let me know. Get a hold of me. Email yizztheunuch@protonmail.com. On my Twitter, yizzcognito. It's the one that survived the Twitter wars of the last 5 years. Just let me know, because we've only got 4 people that say they're coming right now. So that's not many. Usually it's like 15 to 20. I would like there to be at least 10 people that come for it to feel like a real event. So let me know if you want to come. We'll work out whatever it is you need to work out. Okay, let's move on now. Let's talk about the absolute travesty of American politics, okay? Well, you could say politics in general pretty much all throughout the West, but the stupid GOP debate just happened. You've got the retarded Trump mugshot. You've got everything just going off the rails. You've got Banana Republic shenanigans happening all across the country. So how does that matter to you? Does it matter to you? Should you care? Should you talk about it? Yeah, you kind of have to. If you're going to try to influence people and engage with people, regular folks around you, they're probably going to be talking about this shit. They're probably going to have opinions. And so the best thing that you can say is, well, I know that Trump ain't our guy. I'm not saying you should tell your friends this, but if there's anybody that you think federally your vote is gonna matter for, throw in your lot with Trump just to do it, just to say you voted for the guy, the underdog, the outsider. You listen to this video right now, you know that Trump ain't our guy. You You know that. You know that he is his own egotistical creation, and he serves the temple of Trump. You know that. You know that he don't love white people, and he don't really love America. He just loves America because it's the one that makes him rich and glorifies him the most. We all know that. But when it comes to normie politics, most people still believe that a vote matters. Most people still believe in the sham of politics. And so, to engage with people around you, just like how you have to pretend about sport ball and NASCAR and all this other shit that we've kind of learned now is just sort of a vestige of a culture that used to be, and now it's just been weaponized for greed and propaganda and shit. You have to engage with them. And to do that, you have to talk about what they're talking about around the water cooler or at church or whatever. So when politics comes up, I recommend this. You can say, well, when it comes to the big election, I'm going to treat it just like local elections. I'm going to vote for the guy who is the least anti-white. And that's Trump. I don't think Trump particularly cares about white folks. I think Trump cares about Trump more than anybody else. But he is the least anti-white, and while he was in office, at least one of the few things he did was cut down on white erasure, on biological white erasure, by limiting mass migration for a little while. So by that metric alone, he's got my vote. You can phrase it in a way that makes anti-whiteism the core issue to you. And you make all the things in politics happening around that secondary and tertiary to you wanting to stop the white erasure, the anti-whiteism. You can let that be known in casual, easy words like I just said. Or maybe come up with something else too. You could be like, you know, since I started going free, I don't really care as much about left and right or Republican and Democrat. I just vote for the person who I think will enact or who will fight anti-whiteism the most, or who will be the least anti-white in office. Because if you say that, it shifts the gears out of this political circus that we're fed from the media all the time. It shifts gears away from that and says, I see the circus for what it is, and for what my vote matters, I'm going to cast my vote locally and federally for the person who is the least anti-white, for the person who is at least seems like they'll do the best for our people and our people's needs in my country, in my county, whatever it may be. And so when I phrase it that way on people in my life, they at least are more accepting than if I took a more dissident, radical path and tried to explain to them that voting doesn't matter and that all politics is just a scam and that democracy is a lie for oligarchs to displace the aristocracy. And going into all this diatribe and trying to share with them the wisdom I've cultivated from reading books by dead people, right? That doesn't work, and that only makes me seem crazy to the people in my life. And I wish I could make everybody in my life like me. I wish I could bring them all to be as radicalized as I am. But they don't want that. Most people need to feel like the future is going to be okay. I don't think most people can handle breaking free of this framework that we were all raised in. Even good people have trouble breaking free of that, especially most of my friends, because they're all parents now. They don't want to believe that everything hangs on a thread and this is all going to collapse because they got children. Some of them have grandkids now. My cousin's a couple years older than me. He's got grandbabies now. He doesn't want to believe that we're teetering on the end, on the brink of total destruction and poverty and everything. Those ideas are so scary. They're so blackpilling to normal people that their minds just reject them. And so you kind of got to meet them where they are. Most people are used to just casual political conversation of, no, I guess I'm a Trump guy, or no, I don't like that Trump guy. I guess I'm going to vote Biden this year. Like, most people just sort of take it light like that. And if you meet them on those grounds, you can plant good seeds. And you know what I'm all about? I'm all about planting those healthy seeds. And if you just casually say, I don't particularly like Trump, but he's the least anti-white of the mix for all these federal guys, so I'm going to vote for him. Just like I vote locally when I look at whoever is going to be our county mayoral executive, or whoever's going to be our city mayor, or whatever the case may be where you live. You can just say, well, I do it like when I vote locally. I just you know, pay a little bit of attention and do a little homework on the people that I have to vote for. And I vote for the one who I think will be the least anti-white and who will do the most to stop white erasure and anti-whiteism in media and schools. And if you phrase it that way, it makes you sound like a moral, sensible, sane person instead of going off on a diatribe about Zog and Jews and Mosca's law and elite theory. And like, you can't reach normal people with that shit. They're doing construction over there. That was the loud nail gun, I think. You can't reach normal people with that kind of stuff. They're going to look at you like you have 9 heads, or they're going to think you're some crackpot lunatic that the media lies about all the time. Now, maybe we are a little bit lunatics. Maybe having to face all this stuff does make us a little crazy. But if the people around you, the normal folks around you that you should try to be inspiring anyway, if they think you're a nutter, you're not going to be able to influence them. You're not going to be able to plant those good seeds. So, that's all I got to say on that today. I wanted to get that off my chest because I try to avoid discussing rank punditry. The only time I really like that to be brought up is on my Discordant Dragons Monday night stream where we laugh about it. Because to me, that's all politics really is. It's a clown show, and I just laugh at it. But most people ain't like that, so meet them on the ground that they're on. Tell them that you'll vote for the guy who you think will be the least anti-white. Tell them you'll vote for the guy who you think will stop the biological white erasure of mass migration. Tell them that you're going to vote for whoever you think is going to stop the anti-white white guilt, mind cancer in schools. Make the framework about you are going to cast your vote for whoever you think is going to stop the evil against us. And when you say that casually and confidently, it plants really good seeds in the people around you. And what's more important is they don't look at you like you're a lunatic. People around here anyway don't. When I try it with people in my family, in my friend group, my social group via my husband and his friends, when I talk like that in the lens of the Go Free method, when I talk like that, they are at least passively tolerant of what I have to say. Where in the past, when I tried different tactics, well, that's what destroyed my relationship with them in the first place. Was trying to radicalize them, trying to get them to believe that everything on the news was bullshit, trying to get them to believe that they've been raised in a narrative of lies and everything they knew was fake. That destroyed my relationships with them. And I still haven't gained it all back yet. I probably never will. But the Go Free method, if I had started with that, God knows how much of a better life I could have. Maybe I could actually still have friends of my own. Maybe I could still have a husband that I felt at least a little connected to, that I haven't alienated myself from for 10 years. Maybe I could still have those friends I've lost along the way. Maybe I could still have that if I'd have had Go Free 10 years ago. But I didn't. And I made bad choices. And I became passionate about things that I can't make normal people in my life passionate about. I chose poorly. I don't want you to choose poorly is what I'm saying. I want you to do better than I did. That's what it's like getting old. Is you have a perspective. You get to look at what's failed and what's succeeded in your past. And pretty much everything I did trying to make a difference failed until I got the lexicon from the Go Free method and until I learned I can't influence people because I can't influence people with radicalization. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I was lied to. I was manipulated by other psychos on poll, by other nut jobs on the internet, and I shouldn't have listened to them. It was a bad choice. And there's a loud truck coming. Okay, there it goes. I wish that I hadn't have gone down the path that I did when it comes to how to influence people, what to talk about. Because after Gamergate, I really sort of just went balls to the wall with everything is a lie. I tried to convince everybody in my life of all the things that we know were true now, and it just didn't work, and it just made people think I was some Alex Jones nut job. And it basically destroyed my relationships with everybody in my life. And that's bad. That's not good. That's not healthy. It doesn't matter how right you are. It doesn't matter how correct you are about factoids and history and what did and didn't have chimneys and what, all this shit. Like, it doesn't matter how right you are. If you're alone and alienate everybody in your life that's your natural support group, your family, your friends, the people you grew up with, if you sever yourself from all that, it doesn't matter how right you are, you're alone. You have destroyed what makes life worth living. So don't be that way. And I know that you're not always gonna hit winners with the go free method, but at least you're not gonna alienate yourself from your loved ones and make them think that you're a nut job. Speak comfortably, speak with love in your heart, speak casually with confidence. That you want to stop the anti-white hatred, the anti-white animus that's against us. You want to stop little white kids from being instilled with white guilt. You think that's ugly and wrong, and you especially don't like the white erasure of mass migration, and you'll vote for anybody who'll stop that. Just say it like that, and your friends and family, unless they're pretty radically anti-white, they're not really going to have any problem with that, and they're going to look at you like you're a normal person. Like you're a normal, good person who actually cares, instead of some whack job that just wants to try to talk them into God knows what. So, there's my wisdom. This video probably droned on longer than I meant. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We are here at my favorite tree. The beautiful clouds, once again. Enjoy them. Enjoy this lush new farm. In the last 1 year, the people who own this place really cultivated it and boosted it. Those of you who've been following my videos for years know that. And there's my favorite tree. We'll wave hi to the horses. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here today. So, I love you guys. And just do your best to be smart and do what's right. But you gotta look at the lens of where we are. Most of our people are not ready to be warriors and radicals. They're barely able to get by. So meet them and plant seeds how you can instead of burning bridges. That's what I want. Have a great week. God bless.